lineup of newspapers here for our review this morning, and during the second half of the show, we will look at some of the stories in details. And also during the second half of the show, we will open the phone lines where you can interact with us. But for now, you can send us a WhatsApp message on any of our numbers, 0903-2229-797 or 0818-2222-205 on any of the newspaper headlines that catches your fancy. All right, we start off with this day newspaper, and just like other newspapers, the paper leads with the Uche Gate story, and it leads Uche Naji, Tinubu's minister accused of certificate forgery, quits. That's from this day newspaper. And still staying with the paper, all eyes on Tinubu as INEC chair Yakubu bows out. Agbamuche Mbo now acting. And Tinubu seeks House approval for $2.8 billion foreign loan, Eurobond refinancing, and Sukuk. And the trade fair demolition, Peter Obi pleads for leniency. There was no First World War, Jimo Ibrahim declares at UN conference. And Dangote versus Pengerson, Sanusi, Kuka, Ote, Peterside, others waiting, say unionism not licensed to cripple economy. And Sanwo-Olu calls for cooperation on food resilience measures as Lagos marks World Habitat Day 2025. And Carnival in Aba as Tinubu commissions reconstructed Port Harcourt Road. And climate change is shrinking wetland. Protect them. All right, we move on to Tribune newspaper now, and the paper leads with the INEC story. Yakubu hands over to Agbamuche as INEC acting chairman. And disquiet in ADC over Obi's moves. We won't participate in ASU proposed strike, Konwa. And ASU mobilizes members for nationwide strike. And so many other stories on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper is next now. Federal highway of 98% of Nigerians to enjoy crash in tax rate or total exemption in 2026. Tinubu seeks NAS approval for $2.3 billion external borrowings, $500 million sovereign Sukuk. And Southwest youth stage protests urge Tinubu to support local refining industry. And row over appointment of Senate clerk as civil group petitions National Assembly Service Commission. Corrupt civil servants allegedly fingered in Rivers Secretariat fire. And alleged $4.5 billion fraud, Emefiele's phone forensic test stalled as EFCC defense disagree. Certificate forgery allegation, why Minister Geoffrey Naji resigned. And no LGA under siege of bandits. That's from the Kwara State government. And Enugu government ensures 9,000 farmers partners presidency on food security. Oyo APC leaders blame imposition for party's 2023 election losses. And 2027 mark Regbeshola other ADC leaders in closed-door meeting. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan resumes at plenary session. Without allocations, Supreme Court reserves judgment in Osun government case. All right, we move on to the Nation newspaper now, and no prize for guessing. The lead story is on the Uchegate scandal. Certificate scandal, Niger resigns ministerial position. And scheduled flights begin at Ogun Gateway Airport. And their next story is also here prominently. Agwemuche Mbo is acting chair as Yakubu bows out of INEC. National Assembly to Nigerians, better days ahead. And the federal government to refinance expansive debt portfolio, says Minister of Finance. Tinubu declines assent to 2 National Assembly bills. Senate proposes 10-year passport ban on Nigerians convicted abroad. Osun 2026, Omishere declares governorship ambition, says APC has 100% chance of winning. All right, we move on to Daily Trust this morning. 2027, ADC sets criteria for candidates. And ECOWAS Nigeria calls for equity, fairness in rotation of statutory appointees. Burkina junta arrests European NGO workers for spying. That's on the foreign scene. How Discos lost 358 billion naira in 3 months. Mahmoud Yakub bows out as INEC chair, hands over to Agbamuche. And all the stories you can find on the front page of Daily Trust. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper and countdown to 2027. Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. That's how the Punch newspaper puts their story. Cultists kill 4 in Lagos Ogun communities. Police pensioners rally for protest after talks collapse. And Tinubu axes 2 National Assembly bills over policy clash. I will move on to the New Telegraphs. Abia needs good governance, accountability, not propaganda. And from this Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, over 30 million Nigerians face acute food insecurity. And Tinubu accepts INEC chair Yakubu's departure, confers national honor on him. And also Tinubu accepts Minister of Science Innovation Naji's resignation. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper. Mahmoud Yakub steps down as INEC chairman. Emefiele's $4.5 billion fraud case, EFCC defense clash over examination procedure. And recruitment, Customs announces examination date for shortlisted applicants. Edo Task Force seals filling station over expired fire extinguisher, okay? North Central, anxiety lingers over insecurity, fate of displaced persons. Experts warn against lump sum pension payment to retirees. Bayelsa State acquires 2 aircraft to commence operations at State Airport. And Nigeria, others seek AFCTA digital trade protocol implementation. And how Nigeria first policy execution can turn tide for manufacturers. Ports, police, tax users, operators on safety compliance at terminals. NDLEA warns pilgrims against drug traffickers' tactics ahead of 2026 Hajj. And police arrest 3 as death toll from shooting rises to 7. Council chair pledges support for task force on immunization in Ojodo. And bad example of Lagos lawmakers serve reward for public service. Deportation of 102 foreigners over cyber crime matters arising. End rascality, vested interest in Nigeria's downstream petroleum industry now. And that increase in passport fee unwarranted. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we look at some of the stories in details. I have quite a lot of stories and quite a lot to talk about. Please don't go away. Newspaper review resumes shortly.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Nwusu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Hussein cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was...
I never...
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting...
Insight with Lawrence Umoite on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. And this is the second part of the show, and where we open the phone lines. You can call us on 0903 2229 That's 0903 2229 You can also call us on 0818 222205. And you can also send us WhatsApp message on any of the stories we have reviewed so far. And I have Mr. Salman Salami in the studio to help us with the in-depth analysis of some of those stories. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence Umoiti, and our super citizen listeners too.
Yes, Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM. Mr. Salami, I'm sure the Niger story did not come as a surprise to you. Certificate scandal, Niger resigns ministerial position. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last night accepted the resignation of Mr. Geoffrey Naji as Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. It followed allegations surrounding the authenticity of his academic credentials. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, confirmed that the President approved Naji's resignation. Naji was appointed in August 2023. He expressed gratitude to the President for the opportunity to serve, attributing his resignation to sustained blackmail and political persecution. Mr. Salami.
I'm on fast at all. Although when I heard of what I was expecting to hear, I told myself that yes, sanity is a bit returning to this country. But more than that, I expected that he would be a guest of the operatives yesterday. Because the thing is this, we should not reward bad behavior. I am not judging. I am not judging. What I'm saying is this. We must put this case in its proper perspective. Why am I saying this? There is an allegation, and the allegation is a criminal one. A criminal allegation that forgery is allegedly committed since 2023, August. And God knows even since when. We are talking of when it comes into public space. This case should be properly investigated. And culprits should be brought to book. We should put this country on the path of sanity. We should make the younger ones realize that there are values and there are morals. And there is what I call the basic irreducible minimum, both in private conduct and in public office. A situation whereby a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be accused of forgery is, to say the least, unacceptable. Why am I a bit bothered about this? The resignation of the Honorable Minister is not total. Because according to him, it is a witch hunt. Good. If it is a witch hunt, I'll be glad if at the end of the day, it turns out to be a witch hunt. In which case, X should roll. Because his reputation has been soiled. X should roll. Why? The Vice Chancellor of that university, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, came out and told the public that there was record that the ex-minister or the former minister was admitted in 1981, but there was no record that he graduated. This has passed the stage or level of graduation. The minister is being said to have a certificate in his possession. If the vice chancellor said you did not graduate, how did you come about the certificate? How did you serve? What I'm saying, how did you go for National Youth Service Corps? At the level of getting certificate, I want to believe that it wasn't the minister who issued himself a certificate. Whether that certificate is from the UNN or from wherever, some people must be involved. Those people too should face the music. At the level of NYSC, the man couldn't have called himself up for service. He must have been called up for service by some people or institution, as it were. Those who are involved should face the music. And if it was found out that indeed there were along the line things done that not ought to be done, those involved should face the music. And this will serve as deterrent to others. We should start somewhere.
All right. Well, for me, it's very unfortunate that this is happening. From the resignation letter of the minister, I think number one is trying to save the government the embarrassment, and two, he wants an opportunity to clear his name, and I really wish he will do that successfully. If he does at the end of the day, just like Mr. Salami said, then he will have the opportunity of seeking redress for all this. But if he doesn't at the end of the day, and it is proven that truly these allegations are true, then it will be very, very unfortunate because just like you said, there's been a line of checks put in place by the law to vet credentials of public officers, and it seems that all these lines of check were
compromised.
Well, I wouldn't want to use the word compromise. Maybe they were ineffective in checking out what they are supposed to, and it's so unfortunate because right from the political parties, right from so many other levels. I'm not even talking about the security clearance. I'm not talking about the clearance at the National Assembly and so many other things. So it's food for thought for us. But it's still early days for us to jump to conclusion. He's still alleged to have done what they say he did. He has not been found guilty by any court of law. It has not been proven. Everything now is still on the realms of allegation. So, but let's wait and see how this pans out at the end of the day. And so fortunate for his immediate members of staff, because you know what it means in Nigeria. When your principal loses his job, you go with him, especially the political appointees and friends of the minister. And the minister will realize, I'm sure from yesterday, that he actually had no friends. People you have as friends are your childhood friends and family members. When you get into political office, everyone hanging around you is actually not your friend. They are just there because of the office you occupy. I'm sure the former minister is going to realize that now. And for others, just like we said, Mr. Salami, off camera yesterday, a lot of other people are already juggling, positioning themselves as replacement for that slot. And that's how life is at the end of the day. So wherever it is, we move on as a country. Mr. Salami, yesterday also there was this big news too. Although it was in the offing, we were expecting it, but we didn't know it would come yesterday. although the proper one, the bigger one, is still yet to come. We're talking about unveiling the new leader of INEC. Yesterday, Prof took a bow and handed over to the next senior national commissioner. And this is how the Punch newspaper puts the story. Countdown to 2027. Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. President Bola Tinubu has formally accepted Professor Mahmood Yakub's departure as chairman of INEC following the expiration of his second and final tenure. Following the development, the president is set to name Yakub's successor after the Council of State meeting in Abuja on Thursday, after presenting the list of nominees for the coveted number 1 electoral umpire position. Yakubu handed over to May Agbamuche Mbo, a seasoned legal expert who has assumed the role of acting chairman pending the appointment of a substantive successor. In recognition of his service, the president conferred upon the ex-INEC boss the national honor of Commander of the Order of Niger. Mr. Salame.
Well, I thank God for Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Why did I thank God for him? He spent 10 years as the INEC chairman. And arguably, he did very well. This is still a subject of discussion anyway. But there are quite a lot of pluses that you cannot take away from him. And I think it is in recognition and appreciation of his service to his fatherland that Mr. President conferred on him the award of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of the Niger. I think it's CON of the Niger. That is that. He, of course, did what he should do, handed over to the most senior. And the most senior happens to be Mrs. Agbamuchi. And people have gone to town to say that Mrs. Agbamuchi is a relation of one of the most popular presidential aspirants on social media. But what has that got to do with being the acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission? When she entered service, did she enter service on the basis of the fact that she is related to somebody? There is the need for us to separate shaft from grain. There are some issues that we should learn not to politicize. Do we now say sidestep because of is it a crime to be related to somebody? I think there is the need for us to be focused and to see things the way they are and not to read politics or meanings into our national life. On merit, she got this job. We should allow her to do her job.
Well, Mrs. Salami, there's really no way the appointment of the chairman, either acting or substantive of INEC, would not bring about a lot of public scrutiny. There will be a lot of controversy. As I'm speaking to you, I know that everything about Mrs. Agbamuche Mbo will be under the microscope, both for the good of the country and also for political reasons. A lot of people, from the day she was born, from her friends, everything. And the same thing also is expected of the incoming INEC chairman. His will even be worse because he will be occupying that office in a substantive position. So a lot of things are going to happen. His friends are going to be vetted. His statements over the years will be vetted. Everything. And on the face value, it's good because you try to make sure that, yes, you encourage upright people to be in position of government. But also, politicians will always be politicians. And it's not restricted to Nigeria. Across the world, they are going to vet to see what they can use, either to tarnish the image of the new INEC chairman or to discredit the system or whatever it is. It's always like that. So I think it behoves on us as a nation to always insist that as much as possible, because it's hardly ever possible to have somebody who is Mr. Clean 100% without any dent. But we try to make sure that we get people who are, to some extent, above board in terms of their moral and other aspects of life. So, well, this is wishing Professor Mahmood a splendid retirement, so to speak. We hope that he will use the next few months to cool off, reflect, and enjoy himself, because we also know that, just like I spoke about the minister, a lot of hangers-on around him will disappear. The all road leads to Mrs. Agbamuche's office now, even though she's in acting capacity. But she will become the new bride. Contractors, friends, old schoolmates, everyone will suddenly remember her. Everybody will know that, oh, we worship together in the same church or whatever. Everybody will remember, oh, she's from our village. She's married to somebody from our community. Chieftaincy titles will start flying. Old school associations will start giving awards and so many other things. And we hope that she'll be able to keep her head down this few period until the announcement of a substantive chairman of INEC is made. And when that is made, Mr. Salami, I'm sure it will be a talking point for a long, long time to come.
Of course, and you are right in that success has so many brothers, sisters, and uncles. Mm-hmm. It is only a failure that
it's an orphan.
An orphan. And that is one. And again, I will suggest and advise Professor Mahmood to put pen on paper.
Very necessary.
It is very, very important, because he is a reservoir of political knowledge. And the country stands to gain a lot from his expected memo or book, as it were. And of course, thank God that he's not up to 70. So he may go back to any school and give back to the society experientially. He is experientially refined because he has seen it all.
In fact, any school that will have him will be lucky because of his abundant experience, both theoretical and practical.
Yes.
Now.
Especially practical.
So, yes, it's true. Especially the one you talk about putting his thoughts to paper. Very important. We need to have a lot of public officers do that every time, because this will be...
It's enriches.
Yes, the discussion, and then our young boys and girls coming behind will also know that, yes, these are, because Mr. Salabi, I know that maybe one of these days we will devote a day to talk about the reforms that Professor Mahmood Jega carried on. Remember that Professor Jega started a lot of reforms in that sector, in INEC, in that institution. And Professor Mahmood also followed up a lot. So there are a lot of things to talk about. Today may not be that day.
Yes, there is the need for us to focus on the reforms that happened in INEC, starting from the days of the unsung Maurice Iwu.
Exactly, yeah.
He too did some things.
Exactly.
So we will devote some time. And my prayer is this. And I pray that Almighty God answers my prayer. That when you keep something in a book, Nigerians will find it.
Yeah, they will. All right, you can join the discussion. The phone lines are open, 0903-2229-797. You can also call us on 0818-2222-205. Mr. Salam, let's move on to the National Assembly. Plenary resumed yesterday at the National Assembly, and this is from the Nation newspaper, and this is how they capture the story. National Assembly to Nigerians, better days ahead. After a break of more than 2 months, the National Assembly resumed plenary yesterday with a promise to do more for Nigerians. Members of the bicameral legislative chambers told the citizens that although the ongoing reforms by President Bola Tinubu were yielding positive results, Nigerians still faced challenges. Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House of Representatives Speaker Abbas Tajuddin gave the assurances in their welcome address to the returning federal lawmakers. They listed flawed insecurity, high cost of living, and erratic power supply as some of the challenges facing Nigerians, but assured that the National Assembly would legislate with boldness and collaborate with the executive to tackle the challenges. Mr. Salam.
You see, I keep on saying that democracy, as of now, is the best form of government, unless we are able to think outside the box and do something different that will make life better for the people. And democracy has no meaning if it doesn't touch the lives of the people directly. What Nigerians want, very simple: affordable and accessible medical health care, food, security, and if you can sleep with your eyes closed, what are the basic needs of man? Food, shelter and clothing. Is that all right? Food. Thank God that we have arable land. In fact, I want to believe that the issue of fertilizer, it is part of the schemes or the schemes. But when we were growing up, did we hear of fertilizer like this? Is it campus you call that thing? That anywhere you go in Nigeria, you hardly need fertilizer because the soil naturally is very fertile. When you travel, you see green grass or forest all through, and you begin to ask yourself, with this abundance of fertile soil, why are we importing food? It is unacceptable. Niger State alone can feed the whole of the nation.
Yeah.
Ditto in the east. All the same in the west. When Baba Olowo started the agric extension in the southwest, and the tallest building in Ibadan was built with the proceeds from where?
Cocoa.
Thank you. Ditto, we had Granite Pyramid in the north, specifically in Kano. And the palm oil was tried, there was palm oil in the southeast. And the money realized from these products were used to do a lot of good things that up to today, we are seeing them. But the coming of the black gold, Lawrence, change the narrative. I've been telling you that easy come,
easy goes.
And we've been saying it again that any money in the hands of a fool and his money
will soon be parted.
They will be parted. Honestly, I think the future belongs to the soil. Our future is in the soil. When we go back to the farm, we will be in a position to hold our own in the Committee of Nations. And we will hardly speak of the fluctuation in the foreign exchange because we will export more and import less. And I keep on saying it. When you remove the problem of food and security from all your problems are half solved.
Exactly. Yes, anytime we talk about agriculture, and we always insist and emphasize that the kind of agriculture we are talking about is not the bow and is not the hoe and shovel kind of agriculture. We passed that. In fact, it's not even the agriculture of tractors. We've passed that. The world has passed that now because we are blessed with the land. You said that Niger State can feed Nigeria. I'm telling you that with the right attitude and the right equipment, Niger State can feed the whole of Africa. What is the size of the state of Israel? What is the size of Ukraine? That is, even during the war, the whole world is still relying on Ukraine for wheat. And so many other things. So we are blessed. I don't know, maybe because of our kind of politics, our leaders would rather invest in the infrastructure of such building government houses and all those things that people see, white elephant, that because agriculture demands intensive, consistent investment over the years, which may not be seen immediately. But if you do that for 10 years, Mr. Salami, the impact will blow your mind at the end of the day. But how many of our leaders are willing to wait?
They would rather build airports and buy aeroplanes for who to use. You see, give it to this man, Farmer Bagu. At least in principle, he has gotten it right. Lawrence, the world has passed the stage of hoes and cutlasses. Not even Ferguson deer tractor.
Like the one you saw somewhere.
I will not tell you that again. What we are talking of applying science to agree and making full yafu for people. It is so easy. Do you know the implication of if Ogun State takes the required number of tomato to Lagos, the nearness to Lagos? So you are not talking of losses now and storage. You are even talking of regular supply of tomato and food crops or cash crops to Lagos alone. Imagine the kind of money that will be coming, flowing.
And even the storage that we're talking about is not something we should...
it is not rocket science.
It is not something, because it's very important. And that's why for every season that you have... for example, now we have pepper and tomatoes now all over the place. You see them in abundance. Give it 3 months. You would likely it will be like triple the current price now. Why? Because most of them would have been spoiled. The few ones remaining, the price will go up at the end of the day.
Lawrence, when God created us, he put something they call brain into our head. You think God will waste his time to put brain in your head if he doesn't know that you will need that brain to survive? Whoever fails to think will always be a slave to those who think. We are talking of a Glow, MTN, airtime. Is it not applying technology to hear that they have turned into money? That they are even getting more money than oil? I have been telling you that if brain was not needed, God will not put it into our head. And if you fail to use your brain, then you will always remain a slave to those who can think. God will as well have put sawdust there.
All right.
There was no need.
Okay. Yes, and Mr. Salome, back to the lawmakers. Yes, they said all the necessary things, but are they also doing their part? I keep saying it. One of my reservations about elected political officers across the country has always been their ostentatious living. You give the impression, you're telling the people, oh, bear with us, times are hard, we know, do time. But you go back to your constituency in a convoy of so many cars, and the kind of lifestyle you live, the kind of cars you drive does not give the impression that, yes, you understand the sufferings of the people. Instead, you dispense with peanuts to the people. You prefer people come to your house every morning, line up, and then you share rice, you share bread and stuff like that. That's not how to cater for people. And it cuts across. Elections are coming. You're going to see a lot of all these political talks, grandstanding at the end of the day. You need to create impact. Let the people feel your governance. Unfortunately, the way we have modeled up the roles of our elected office holders. We expect our lawmakers to come and build roads for us, to build markets and everything. Yes, that's how we found ourselves. Essentially, those are not really their constitutional responsibilities.
To me, there is a poor understanding of so many things. poor understanding of the role of the lawmakers and the attitude of our people too. I do not think it is the business of a lawmaker to ensure that your wife gives birth. It is not the
Or you marry a second wife.
of our lawmaker to know, to ensure that your wards are in school. It is not. They could as well make laws in such a way that there will be a conducive environment, but not that you will be paying the school fees of your wards. It is not. That is not it. And with the lawmakers who should realize that public office is public trust. It is an opportunity for you to render selfless service to the people. And a public trust that must not be abused. But these are high morals. And you can just not give what you don't have. It requires a lot of thinking. A situation whereby the councillor is a vulcanizer, what do you expect?
Recruitment process, we go back to that again.
What do you expect? That is not the kind of thinking that will solve the problem of a society. You cannot use a low-level thinking to solve a complex.
Especially in today's world.
Of course, it's knowledge-driven.
Knowledge, highly digitalized.
The world is knowledge-driven. Unless you have the requisite knowledge, you will give your incompetent best.
All right, Mr. Salami, before we go, let's look at the story from this day newspaper. Dangote versus Pengasson. Sanusi, Coca, others weighed in. Say unionism not licensed to cripple economy. Several eminent Nigerians yesterday intervened in the face-off between the Dangote refinery and Pengasson. In a joint statement by the concerned Nigerians, they also stated that welfare of workers should not be left on the back burner. The statement was signed by Mohammed Sanusi II and Bishop Matthew Kuka and Osita Chiduka Tedo Peterside and so many others. The group noted with concern the recent disputes and disruptions surrounding the Dangote refinery, emphasizing that although the immediate crisis has been de-escalated through government mediation and renewed dialogue between labor and management, the episode raises important lessons for Nigeria's economic future. Mr. Salami.
Well, Lawrence, before I address or analyze that issue, let me quickly tell you what happened yesterday. The Corporate Affairs Communication deregistered the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Why? Let's leave that for another day. The registration. So, whoever calls himself a leader or a member of National Youth Council of Nigeria is flouting the law. Because they are nothing so called. What I'm saying is that there is the need to rethink labor unionism in Nigeria. There is a need for even the leaders of the labor union to know that while they are pressure group fighting for the good of the workers, there is also the need to appreciate the implication of whatever they are doing on the national economy. Knowing fully well that Nigeria is bigger and greater than any one of us. We are not saying that labor unionism should be banned. No. There should be a body to protect the interests of the workers and to keep the government on its toes and to ensure that it is not a question of monkey they walk, baboon they chop kind of thing. But in doing all this, we must strike that delicate balance in such a manner that we do not compromise national security and food security and national economy too. The few days that Pengasson did what they were said to have done, the NNPC group managing director came out and said that Nigeria lost what? 600,000 barrels And you know what that means.
And even now, Nigerians are groaning under the scarcity of cooking gas.
Cooking gas.
And they said
it is not available, and the cost has skyrocketed. Look at the unintended consequences that they intend to inflict pains on Nigerians. They didn't mean to. But even at that, it is not what you meant to do or not, but what happened as a result of your action or inaction. That is the issue.
All right, Mr. Salami, before we go, let's quickly look at the story. Federal Highways of Horror. It's a series by the Vanguard newspaper looking at the state of roads across the country. A considerable number of federal roads in the southeast and northern part of the country are certainly not in the best condition, although some have recently undergone a facelift, especially in the southeast. The dilapidated highways subject motorists and passengers to a grueling experience, which has made interstate travel in Nigeria a nightmare. And Mrs. Salami, why I just picked the story is that if you have all the roads in Nigeria today fixed at once and every one of them is clean, and then you don't maintain them, in the next 20 years, you are going to get back to where we are today. That's simple. It's not rocket science. We've had several governments over the years who have neglected maintenance of this road infrastructure. And that's why it's such a huge problem now today.
Lawrence, I'm sure you know what they call FEMA.
Yeah?
And why I will not adopt the caption, highways of horror. I want to say that I just came back from a trip. It is true that our roads are bad, especially the ones I took. There is this road from Kaba to Omo. Kaba in Kogi State, Omo in Ekiti State. In fact, let's find another word
for it.
It isn't a road. Even the pathways are better. It was just such that at a stage I told myself that there is no way that kidnappers will not strike on such roads, because at every turn you come to a standstill. What was left was, you guys come down so that we push the bus. There is the need to maintain the roads. There is the need to do more on our roads, especially the federal roads. The government is trying, no doubt about that.
Actually.
But over the years, the roads have been neglected in such a manner that they have gotten that they are bad. They are abysmally bad. They are unpassable. They are not passable again. And it calls for urgency.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
We have no other job. We hold the duty to the people to inform, entertain, and do what again?
Educate. All right, that's our package on Newspaper Review. This morning, the program returns tomorrow, 7 a.m., bright and early. My name is Lawrence Moite. Enjoy the rest of your day.